Now at 5, Joplin's new homelessness director announces his resignation. Plus, Jasper County first responders who've given their lives in the line of duty are memorialized as Carl Junction schools receive a major contribution.
The administration shakeup at the CDC and handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files are in focus this week on Capitol Hill. I'm Natalie Brand with a look at the issues lawmakers are tackling as they return from break.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin is looking for a new homelessness director less than 2 months after their current director took on the role. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Eric Argenbright has notified the Joplin Regional Commission on Homelessness of his intention to resign within 30 days. He cites unanticipated personal reasons as the cause for his departure. The resignation comes 3 weeks after Argenbright sat down with KOAM to discuss what he hoped to do in the role. According to the commission's executive director, Argenbright will work with them during this transition and offer guidance on his next steps. The commission intends to fill the position quickly and says they will know more in the coming weeks. The SEK Humane Society is pausing all new animal intakes as they say they are at risk of closing their doors at the end of the year. The nonprofit says this could happen without new financial support as donations and grants have dropped to unsustainable levels, even as the cost of operating continues to rise. Staff say the pause in intakes is necessary as they are already at maximum capacity. Today, the Humane Society asked the Crawford County Commission for $30,000 a month to allow the shelter to remain open.
Sadly, today we are at a crisis point. Without sustainable monthly funding from the county, we are looking to be forced to be shut down by the end of this year, by this end of December of 2025. This would leave our county without any animal sheltering services, placing thousands of animals at risk.
The SEK Humane Society says community support is more important now than ever before, whether it be through donations, adoptions, or volunteering. We have more on how you can help on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, the Arvest Foundation presents a check to Carl Junction schools for their support of the upcoming First Responders Memorial in Jasper County. The memorial is set to be unveiled on September 11th at 9 a.m., honoring those who lost their lives while on duty, such as 1993 Carl Junction High School grad Ben Cooper.
These funds will help to establish a memorial at our new athletic complex that specifically will honor Corporal Ben Cooper, who is a Carl Junction graduate. It will also honor first responders and law enforcement officers who currently serve, and then honor Jasper County affiliated officers who have given their lives in the line of duty.
The Arvest Foundation gave the most amount of money to fund the memorial. The foundation's goal is to recognize local groups working to improve quality of life in the 4 states. Chief Meteorologist Doug Eddy joins us now with a first look at your forecast.
And it actually turned out to be a pretty good Tuesday for us today. We've had a couple isolated little guys pop up. Temperatures stay fairly nice. In fact, we warm up a bit more tomorrow. We're going to be into the mid-80s. Thunderstorm chances again tomorrow night. Some of those storms could be strong to low-grade severe, and then we return back to mild temperatures once we get into Thursday. So for Wednesday night, here's a level 2 severe threat in our northern counties. Everybody else a level 1 severe threat. And we do have a couple little guys that have popped up this afternoon. Very quick, tiny little showers. You can see some down through Berry County and then kind of spotted across our southern counties. And anything that is out there will diminish over the next couple hours, and it looks pretty good heading into the morning hours. We'll talk more about those thunderstorm chances here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, Congress returns from recess today with a full agenda, from averting a government shutdown to demanding answers from Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about the CDC shakeup. Natalie Brand has a preview of what to expect this week and beyond.
Lawmakers back from summer recess already face a September 30th funding deadline to avoid a government shutdown. Democratic leaders are calling for a bipartisan meeting and accuse Republicans of threatening to go at it alone.
Under the Senate filibuster rules, Democratic votes are going to have to be at the table, but we have to get spending under control here in Washington to get this country back on track.
There is a bipartisan push for more information and transparency around convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. Today, the House Oversight Committee committee is scheduled to meet privately with survivors. And Wednesday, Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie and California's Ro Khanna will hold a news conference with victims as they push for a bill requiring the Justice Department to release all documents related to the case.
They will be telling their story, and they will be saying clearly to the American public that they want the release of the Epstein files for full closure on this matter.
Following the Trump administration's shakeup at the CDC and firing of Director Susan Monteraz, there are also calls from both Republicans and Democrats for oversight and answers.
A New York Times op-ed from 9 former CDC directors and acting directors accused Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. of endangering public health, pointing to recent cuts at the agency and changes to vaccine policy.
The concerns that they outline are really about politics and ideology taking precedence over public health and science.
Secretary Kennedy will face questions on Thursday, testifying before a Senate committee, his first appearance on the Hill since the agency's overhaul. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, today marks the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, known as VJ Day, or Victory over Japan, the day when Japan formally surrendered. A number of surviving veterans, ranging in age from 97 to over 100 years old, laid wreaths at the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. to pay tribute to the more than 400,000 Americans killed during the war, as well as to the millions of American military members who helped lead the Allies to victory.
When you're with others, tell them about us. Tell them about what you saw and experienced here, and read on to find out more about us. And why do that? Well, because, remember, we gave up our yesterdays for your and their tomorrows.
VJ Day came months after Victory in Europe Day, or VE Day, when Nazi Germany unconditionally surrendered. Well, still ahead, how not to lose sleep over everyday anxieties.
I'm Karen Hua, and there's a new study about what keeps people up at night. We speak to a doctor about how to not lose sleep over everyday anxieties.
And next in Health Watch, a new study shows hospitalizations happen earlier due to limits on access to health care. Topping today's Health Watch, if you have trouble falling asleep, you're not alone. A new survey looks at what people worry about while they toss and turn. CBS News national correspondent Karen Hua has tips from a sleep specialist on how to get a good night's rest.
Think too much.
Diana Garcia gets about 5 hours of sleep a night. With 4 kids, the main worry that keeps her up, money.
Things for school, education, health, food, everything is so expensive.
Many Americans share the same concerns. Finances, work, and job security are 3 of the top stresses at bedtime, according to a new survey from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. Dr. Andrew Spector is a sleep medicine physician at Duke.
The oldest group surveyed, which was 65 plus, had the lowest rates of all of the worries. And I think part of that is financial security, less job stress.
We asked a few older folks ourselves.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how well would you say you sleep at night?
10. There's also a rise in those losing sleep over political concerns. 56% of people, up 10% from last year.
Beyond current events, the number 2 thing people worry about is that they themselves are not sleeping well. You will sleep eventually. So the more you stress about it, the worse it gets.
But there are a few things you can do to calm your mind and get better sleep. Exercise can boost your mood and lower your stress, but avoid vigorous activity around bedtime.
If you don't get that rest time after time after time, that's going to accumulate and cause long-term health problems.
Garcia says she finds lack of sleep can affect her memory.
I forget stuff. I constantly have to set up reminders.
To get more rest, Dr. Spector recommends unplugging at least an hour before bed and setting aside time during the day to quite literally worry, to process all the heavy things on your mind so they don't keep you up at night. Karen Hua, CBS News, Houston.
If you find your worries continue to make it hard to fall asleep or stay asleep, you may want to see a sleep specialist or a therapist who can help. Well, black adults in the U.S. are hospitalized with heart failure nearly 14 years before white patients. A Northwestern University study also found Hispanic patients are hospitalized around 8 years earlier than white patients, and Asian patients about 3 years earlier. The study's authors say the reasons include health insurance status and educational and economic disparities, which can limit access to quality health care. A new treatment approach is showing promise, preventing breast cancer from returning. A University of Pennsylvania clinical trial found it's possible to identify breast cancer survivors at risk of their cancer coming back by locating dormant cancer cells in their bodies. Already existing cancer drugs were able to clear those dormant cancer cells in 80% of the trial's participants. And depression may make it harder for people to learn to avoid unpleasant events in their life. Researchers from the University of British Columbia tested hundreds of participants by exposing them to unpleasant sounds. People with more severe depression struggled to learn to avoid the sounds. It's still not clear how depression affects the brain's ability to avoid unpleasant events. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, an Arkansas jury makes a ruling against a car insurance giant for shortchanging customers on filed claims.
Plus, we still have some thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. A few pop-up afternoon thunderstorms once again, kind of like what we have seen over the past couple days, not quite as widespread as what we have seen. But we do still have a few guys that have popped up over the past couple hours, mainly in our southern counties. Very quick little showers, but it could pour on you for 5 or 10 minutes as the sink off toward the south into the east. In fact, we'll zoom in a little bit closer, just east of Cassville, down toward Seligman, down toward Table Rock, and then we can track a little farther west. One little guy, western McDonald County, and then a couple showers have popped up just east of Joplin on the east side of the metro. Again, not a big deal. They're just going to pop up and then push right on out of here over the next couple hours. Tomorrow evening, level 2 out of 5 severe threat, northern counties in the yellow, in the green, a level 1 threat. And these are going to be scattered 5 p.m. to about midnight. Main threat is hail and wind, tornado threat low, especially this time of the year. Let me walk you through time. We're going to stop this on Wednesday morning. Temperature is pretty good, right around 60, 62 degrees. We're going to warm up more on your Wednesday, so a little bit hotter, near 80 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us 83, 84, maybe 85 degrees. Front's going to drop in. During the evening hours, look at thunderstorms pop up. Again, scattered, so it's not widespread. Not everybody's going to get the rain, but hit and miss storms driving through. Here's 8, 9, 10 p.m. Here's 11 p.m. Still some scattered thunderstorms out there, and then pushing out of here after midnight. So by Thursday morning, we look pretty good. And Thursday is going to be a little bit cooler, high temps, upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So still smidge below where we should be for this time of the year. And then it looks pretty calm once again Thursday night, but some thunderstorm chances back in the forecast on Friday morning. All right, you can see how scattered these thunderstorms are going to be. We'll just have to see where they pop up, but the areas that do get some rain could pick up a quick 1/4 of an inch as we get into tomorrow evening. Day planner, 61 to start, 79 by noon. A little hotter, right about where we should be for this time of the year as we go up to about 85 degrees. Looks good right now. We have some clouds out there, a light little breeze. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam downtown Joplin. If you are getting out this evening, again, a few random showers dropping back through the 70s into the 60s. Let's go through the rest of the week. You can see some scattered thunderstorms Friday. A stronger cold front's going to roll in, and this keeps our temperatures kind of early fall-like as we go into the weekend. Rain to our south, upper 70s for highs on Saturday. Heading into Sunday, another little wave starts to push in. That's going to give us chances for showers and thunderstorms once again. But the reason it's cool over the past couple days is because we got this northerly flow right out of Canada, and that keeps our temperatures fairly nice, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the rest of the week. 85 Wednesday, thunderstorms tomorrow night. 80 on Thursday, 78 Friday, morning showers. Weekend overall looks pretty good. Upper 70s, rain chances back in Sunday and Monday, but for the first week of September, not too shabby.
Yeah, but those storm chances we're watching for sure.
Yeah, we need the rain.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, see how an Arkansas jury tags a car insurance giant of shortchanging on auto claims, plus tips to prevent the same thing from happening to you. Topping today's Consumer Watch, an Arkansas jury sides with a class action lawsuit against a car insurance giant accused of shortchanging customers when paying out certain auto claims. Ashar Karashai sits down with the lead plaintiff and has tips on how to make sure this doesn't happen to you.
5 years ago, Rose Chadwick's daughter borrowed her car for an early morning run to the store when she was struck going through this intersection.
Their front tire had came off, and so their truck ended up over there.
Chadwick's 2011 Hyundai was declared a total loss.
It was not drivable.
No.
She says she trusted her insurer of nearly 3 decades. State Farm offered just under $4,200 for her car.
Did you have any reason to think that that first offer was not right?
No, I didn't, because that's what I pay them for, is to be fair with me.
Chadwick became the lead plaintiff in a class action lawsuit against the insurance giant, accusing State Farm of undervaluing and shorting payouts on claims like hers.
The computer program that State Farm used to calculate the replacement value of the car did it systematically unfairly.
Chadwick's attorney, Brian Glasser, says the commonly used software lowballed the value of totaled cars for tens of thousands of drivers across the state. In June, an Arkansas jury agreed, finding in favor of Chadwick and 37,000 other plaintiffs. The jury determined she had been underpaid by more than 10%.
State Farm moves billions of dollars to people for their broken cars every year, and insurance companies around America do similar numbers. So we're talking these computer programs that calculate the value of your replacement vehicle affect billions of dollars every year.
State Farm argues the system, which they no longer use, was a standard for most automobile insurers, and that appellate courts in some parts of the country have rejected similar cases. In an email, the company wrote in part, "State Farm always seeks to pay what we owe within the terms of the policy to help our customers recover from a loss, and that every customer has the option to use a third-party appraisal to help reach agreement on the value of their totaled vehicle."
Did anybody tell you that you could negotiate with them?
No.
They just gave you the payout and you thought that was the end of it?
Yes.
In the end, State Farm owed Chadwick an additional $600, but she says it was more about principle than money.
It was like hiding something, and you shouldn't hide.
Attorneys are launching similar cases against several insurance carriers in at least 19 states, while regulators in some states weigh whether insurers must change how they value total loss cars.
So what can you do to guard against getting shorted? Well, ask your insurer how they determined your payout amount. Negotiate, especially if you recently paid for upkeep like new tires. And finally, get an independent appraisal of what your car was worth. For CBS News, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Well, final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the new layer of security you'll be seeing soon on airplanes. We'll tell you what it's designed to do. And then on KOAM News at 6, a look at Joplin's new 1.5-mile 10-cup trail. Plus the latest plans for proposed multi-use facility development in Joplin. And our two-a-day football previews continue, taking us to Humboldt and St. Paul. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and KOAM News at 6. Final check of the forecast?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. We're going to get a few isolated little thunderstorms out there this evening. Tomorrow in general, a pretty nice day, 85. Some thunderstorms tomorrow night. Some of those could be a little bit stronger, low grade, severe. 80 on Thursday. More showers and thunderstorms Thursday night.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and we'll be back here for KOAM News at 6. And we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.